Spiritfarer is a game about death. And now you might think, yes, but most games are about death. And you would be right. Death has become an integral part of video game mechanics. Either you die or the enemy dies. Most times death is something that's just there. And when it's part of the story, it's either a moment of joy or great sorrow. But Spiritfarer is different. You play Stella. She, along with her cat Daffodil, are the new Spiritfarers. Their role is to help souls become ready to pass through the Daffodil, sort of a final death. And what lies beyond, we don't know. The game itself seems to take place in sort of a limbo, a vast sea of islands full of spirits, though not all are ready to start their journeys just yet. The game loop is simple. You meet a spirit whose aura has the shape of an animal, indicating they are ready to start their path towards the Daffodil. You help them, get to know them, and care for them. Then, when they finish their mission and feel ready to pass on, it is your role to bring them to the Daffodil and say goodbye, which turned out to be harder than expected at times. Stella has a ship to ferry the souls around the vast sea and plenty of islands to explore as you do so. The ship can be upgraded to go faster and pass into areas previously locked off to you. You travel from place to place, gathering resources, exploring, building structures on your ship. First a guest house, then gardens, forges, sheep pens, individual homes for the spirits, and more. You can upgrade your ship to make it bigger, which you will need to do, as space is limited and you will need to do some impressive stacking to get all of the things you want to fit on the ship. And with each structure having their own shape and size, you end up with this chaotic build of colors, ladders, and stilts to make it all work. And you are free to shift things around within the building area when you want. Now, I never managed to make my chaos of structure look logical, but it definitely had its charm to it. And I quite liked being able to set things up to my liking. Each item you gather, craft, grow, cook, or smelt into existence has a purpose, either to better your ship, your passengers' home, or to make the spirits happy. I found it satisfying to sit down to fish, then cook what I caught and feed it to the spirits. And as I progressed into the game, adding the farms and farm animals, I managed to make more complex recipes, allowing me better to match the food I served to the spirits to their preference, some of which pleasantly surprised me. To do this, the game is full of minigames to make your crafting and gathering more interesting. Weaving requires you to hit certain points on the loom. Sawing tree trunks requires following patterns. Smelting requires temperature control. And smithing balancing the hammer strength. Each minigame is simple, but a nice diversion. And the better you do, the more resources you get at the end for most of them. Other resources are a bit more involved when gathering them, requiring certain events or locations. What fishes you can get depends on the location of your boat. And you must balance not breaking the line. But if you want lightning in a bottle, you must find a lightning storm, activate the event in it, and then dash around, trying to get hit by as many lightnings as you can. And of course, you must have bottles in your inventory to gather it. And there are other events like this, finding ore on massive sea serpents, gathering ectoplasm from spirits, or chasing little bug babies who are playing a game. Each game is again simple, relatively quick, but also fun. And you have the option to take them on as you find them, or simply ignore them and move on. In fact, you can even choose to sail the boat somewhere without triggering any events by just toggling the safe sailing mode for that particular trip, which is really handy when you have to pass through a lightning storm or two and you aren't in the mood or in the need for any more bottles of lightning. As you travel around and ferry the various spirits with you, Stella will also be upgraded, gaining the ability to change the color of her clothing, find the ability to dash around, float with her hat, bounce off things, and just generally make the movement so much more free and fun. Not to mention, you can set up the structures of your ship so you can slide down the different roofs, which is a lot of fun. And sometimes I just spent a minute or two bouncing off them while I was waiting for the ship to get somewhere. It feels like with every upgrade, I was getting more and more free to bounce around in fun ways while exploring previously closed off locations. And it was a delight watching Daffodil the cat beautifully follow me wherever I went and obtain the same upgrades. Even the ability to change their fur like Stella's clothing. And there's a good reason for it, as this game offers local co-op, and the second player will control Daffodil. I didn't get a chance to play it with another player, but I think it might be a lovely game to enjoy together with somebody. To explore the mysterious sea, gathering the different items needed, and building up the ship together. Now the game itself is beautiful to look at. Each addition to the boat is unique, and I found the art style overall quite charming. The design of each character and their unique animation, and their overall pleasant design of the areas made the game a treat to the eyes. While the story subject can at times be quite heavy, the art style and music and gameplay are so pleasant, it's easy to fall utterly in love with the world. Still, the main strength of Spiritfarer is the characters you meet. The game has multiple spirits who will assist with their journey. Each one of them has a unique story and personality. I found myself caring for all of them, though some more than others. I enjoyed learning about their preferences and likes and dislikes, and what happiness would make them do, because if you keep them happy, they will do their best to assist you around the boat. Some play music, others gather items, or craft them and give them to you. And to keep them happy, all you have to do is, feed them food they like and give them frequent hugs. Well, except if they don't like hugs, then don't hug them, because that is going to make them really angry at you and they will give you really harsh reviews. But even that came off as kind of charming. And with each character comes their own music, which is added to the lounge later on in the game, allowing you to listen to it whenever you want. And I found the music to really fit the different personalities, and the stories themselves are nicely diverse. You get to know their history, their life before they came here, and the struggles they face before they can move on. So as you work on the quest, you spend time with them, you grow close to them, and I genuinely started caring deeply for many. Sometimes the request to pass felt just right. We moved on happily, content with what we had accomplished. And for some, the passing on was painful, surprising. The request came suddenly, and I was forced to face the reality that not every problem can be fixed, and not every person can be healed, and that the kindest thing I could do for them was to help them let go and continue the journey, but to do so, they would do it away from me. I spent more time crying during this playthrough than I expected. Some of the stories really resonated with those I have lost in my own life, so at times I had to take a break, step away from the game for a few days, but it kept on drawing me back to it. Because while this is a game about death, I feel it's more about finding acceptance and peace with the act of saying goodbye. It's painful and sometimes unpleasant, but is also peaceful and freeing. In the end, when I made my final journey with a spirit to the Daffodil, I felt at peace. And I think that's the biggest success of this game. So Spiritfarer is a game I am glad I played, and one I know I will pick up again someday to repeat this journey. Though if anything in this review has caught your interest, I think you should give Spiritfarer a go. But what do you think? Do you think Spiritfarer is worth playing? Have you played it yourself, and was there any spirit that really resonated with you? Let's talk about it in the comment, and while you're down there, Make sure to like the video, maybe share it with a friend. But whatever you do, I hope you have a lovely day.